So we're going to show the round by round. Hello everyone, Rich Hagan, Brian David Marshall, welcoming you to the end of day wrap here on day one of the World Championship for Magic the Gathering here at PAX in Seattle. BDM, 24 of the finest players in the world. That sounds like a recipe for success. Throw in some Modern Masters 2015 draft, throw in 4 rounds of Modern. Yep, sounds like we're really cooking. Were we?
Absolutely. We saw an Ulamog get cast.
Well done, Seth Manfield.
We saw an Ulamog get cast. We saw lots of different decks. Yes, we saw a 10 decks at the top of the metagame breakdown, but we saw a wide variety of modern decks. Some things we weren't expecting. Definitely a lot of Living End, something we didn't expect to see, and something that's at the top tables, and Boggles also at the top of the standings after 4 rounds.
Yeah, Reed Duke and Michael Hetrick would be proud. So why don't we get to our master scoreboard here at the end of day one and show you what we've got. So here we have 2 co-leaders, Seth Manfield, the Ulamog caster, and Martin Muller of Denmark. Hats off to the pair of them at 6-1.
Yeah, absolutely. Seth Manfield, we saw just doing a great job. He got off to a 3-0 start, and then Boggles, he went 3-1. He handed Yuya Watanabe 2 losses in this tournament, handed him a loss in each format so far.
And if you look at Yuya Watanabe, who is on 5-2, it's basically Watanabe v. the field, 5-0. Yuya Watanabe v. Seth Manfield, 0-2.
Yeah.
That is 2 of potentially 5 meetings for those 2 this weekend, because you can play people in each format. They're going to be in the same draft table tomorrow for sure, and there's every chance down the stretch in standard. So that's the classic rivalry setting up there. Seth Manfield, Yuya Watanabe.
Martin Mueller in second place, living a teenage dream here. He's very dry. He is a very dry individual, and we're interviewing him, and he's being pretty reserved. And then as soon as we're like sending it back to you at the desk, Rich, he's like, "This is so awesome!" I'm like, "Come on, give us that on camera."
That's awesome. Also 5-2, Sean McLaren and Owen Turtenwald. Now, Sean McLaren works on his own, comes up with everything himself, super laser focused, lots of theory crafting.
By come up with everything himself, you mean starts with 2 electrolyzes and then finds 58 other cards to play with it?
Yeah, pretty much. Owen Turtenwald, though, so many people thought that he would be the real deal this weekend. He is turning out to be, because 5-2, very definitely ahead of the curve for top 4.
Go 5-2, go 5-2. That's the formula.
Well ahead, for sure. Then you've got your 4-3s. Here's Pallavi Dharmata Rosa. Yo Larson had a decent day. Saporito, I think he'll be pleased with his 4-3. Interesting to note, of those next 4, Black, Froelich, and Rietzel, 3 super experienced Americans, all 3 of those won the last round of the day. And you can be pretty sure that for at least one of those 3, that last round today is really going to matter when it comes to the last couple of rounds tomorrow. Real strength from those 3 there. But before we get to the bottom half, because there are some huge names there and a couple of amazing storylines as well, why don't we take a look at our 2 leaders, how they did. Here's Seth Manfield, he's 6-1, 3-0, couple of 2-1s over Strasky and Nelson, and then Watanabe, the 2-0 sweep to finish off in draft. Then the 1 loss, and this was to Martin Dang, who again has had a decent day, and then
playing
Wilson.
the Living End deck.
Right.
Not a good matchup at all for the Boggles deck.
And then Seth did a great deal for North American relations by annihilating Canada in Jacob Wilson and Sean McLaren before finishing off against Yuya Watanabe. Obviously a great run of players, 3-0 in Limited, 3-1 in Modern. What about our other co-leader? Let's take a look at their round by round, the blow by blow account for Martin Muller. And he actually started off very much as close to home soil as he could in a way. It's the Europeans, Antonio Del Moral Leon, first of all, and then Yo Larson before then that loss against Jacob Wilson in round 3. But BDM, once we hit Modern.
Yeah, win. Li Shitian, Owen Turtenwald, Pallavi Dharmata Rosa, and Thiago Saporito.
Yeah, and if you look at 5 and 6, that's where it's really impressive, because you start out 2-1, fine, half the field get to do that. Then you win the first round, fine again, 3-1. But then when you go, Player of the Year, Owen Turtenwald, 9 Pro Tour top 8s, Paula Vida Dama de Rosa, takes care of them, and then makes it count in the last round against one of the surprise packages of the day, Thiago Saporito. Great job by our 2 co-leaders at 6-1. But if there's a top 12, there's got to be a bottom 12. So why don't we take a look at who has still a lot of work to do. 3s and 4s, which take us all the way from 13 to 19. All of these will feel that 6-1 getting to 9-5, there's a great chance of that being sufficient.
Absolutely. A lot of work to do. We've seen it happen before. I believe Yuya Watanabe was 3-4 last year going into day 2.
Paula Vida Dama de Rosa 0-3'd limited in a 12-round version of this tournament to still make top 4. So 3-4, it is doable.
Yeah, absolutely. But Li Shitian, Kentaro Yamamoto, Shahar Shenhar, if they want to do it, they're going to need to win all their remaining rounds tomorrow.
Yeah, they're straightforwardly win their draft because we know that it's going to be 17, Brad Nelson here at 3-4, working their way down to Ari Lax 24. Ari Lax, Antonio Del Moral, Leon, they're gone. 22 players can still win this thing. 2 are done.
But still a lot of value for them tomorrow.
Oh,
this is an
huge.
exclusive pool of pro points that they get to dive into. And they can do a lot of work tomorrow, picking up points and getting themselves into great shape heading into the new Pro Tour season.
They certainly can. So we have 7 more rounds tomorrow. 2 formats are done. We come back tomorrow morning, 3 rounds of
Magic Origins draft. So we're coming off of seeing this as the Pro Tour format. These guys really, we talked to a lot of players, they feel like they really know it. So we're going to be seeing people drafting this. It's a very cooperative format in terms of finding your colors. We're going to see some great decks. We're going to see some great players drafting this format.
We certainly are. And remember, because they draft in their pods in scorecard order, it's going to really compress the field because only one player of the top 8 overnight can 3-0 their draft pod. Now, if it turns out to be one of the 6-1s, they could be virtually in the top 4 before they even unlock their standard deck. And that is how we finish tomorrow. 4 rounds of standard until we unveil our top 4 tomorrow night. Lots more though. Battle for Zendikar preview cards coming tomorrow. Lots of great stuff around
I'm excited
packs.
about the one that came today.
Yeah, Guardian of Tazim. If you haven't seen that yet, check that out. That'll be available on YouTube. You can take a look at that card, and we've got more coming tomorrow. But 7 rounds in the books, 7 still to come. 24 came in, 22 could still be world champion, and one of them just about could still be Shahar Shenhar. Until we meet again tomorrow to do it all again here at the home of Magic, PAX in Seattle, the home of Wizards of the Coast. For Brian David Marshall, I'm your host Rich Hagan, saying bye.